Hi there everyone. So this is the very first video for the Code With Me series, which is just a bunch of videos where you just watch me cook something up in code. I'll just be building everything from scratch. Nothing will be edited out. You just see how I sort of figure everything out as I build whatever it is that I think I'm building. Okay. So I hope you enjoy this series. If you have any comments, if you have anything to say, of course, you say in the comments, right? So in this video today, I'm just going to be building a product catalog web app web app in a way, and I'm going to be using PHP and MySQL PHP, MySQL, and HTML, and CSS for that functionality. Yeah, just to show you how you can do that, essentially figuring out the whole process and everything. And the softwares I'm going to be using, of course, the usual Visual Studio Code, and I will also be using XAMPP. How do I even pronounce it? Yeah, I'm just going to say XAMPP control panel. It just allows us to have PHP, to use PHP in our system. This is XAMPP, and yeah, okay. You just watch as I, do my stuff, and if you want to, you can code with me. Okay, you can follow along and we figure this thing out. Okay, cool. So let's get started. How do I even do this thing? So I'm just going to start the Apache server and the MySQL server because I need to access the MySQL database, the admin control panel, whatnot. So I'm just going to click here, admin. It's going to open in the browser. Oh, the PHP my admin dashboard. Perfect. So here, I think I just want to sort of set up a database because I'm trying to create a product catalog, right? So I'm just gonna create some, sample products which I'll be using to display as a product catalog. I'm also thinking of, having that pagination thing going on, but yeah, that's probably gonna make the video longer than it should be. So yeah, I'll just keep it to this for now. I'm gonna create a new database. Actually, I'm just gonna call it um my DB. I'm just gonna call it that. Doesn't matter. Whatever. You can call it whatever you want to if you're coding along. I'm just gonna create that. Oh, and by the way, if you do not know where to get this app, I will put a link in the description for where you can download it. It's honestly, it's like the easiest way to get PHP into your computer, have access to MySQL, Apache, and all those other beautiful things. Okay, so again, I need to keep this on. I'm just gonna drag it all the way there so I don't accidentally close it. And these two should be started. So I'm gonna create my first table, which is gonna be products. Actually, should I do that? Yeah, which has 4 columns. Let me say I want the product name. I want the product ID, which is going to be auto increment, the product name, the description, and the price. I think that's I'll just leave it to those things: the ID, the name, the description, and the price. So that's gonna be 4 columns. So let's go. Perfect. So I'm gonna say ID here. That's the name of the column. So right now I'm setting up all the columns for the table. So it's a type of an integer. The length will be I don't know, 10 at most. That means how many characters, okay, or how many digits in this case. And I want it to be you see this AI, which stands for auto increment. So yeah, it's gonna be auto incremented. So I'm not gonna need to set it myself. It's just I'm not gonna need to enter details myself for the ID. It's just gonna be automatically done, and it's gonna automatically as well make itself the primary key. Perfect. So I need the product name. I'm just gonna say name instead of product name. This is variable characters, and I'm gonna say 255 for the length, and nothing else there. Also the description, is that correct? Varchar 55. And what else? The price. So the price, I'm thinking of making it a string, but I could make it a double or a float, or let me see. Thinking of making it a decimal, a fixed point number. The maximum number of digits is 65. Maximum number of decimals is 30. It's fine. I'll make it a decimal. And maximum is, oh, well, do I need to set that? Yeah, I'll just set it 10. Okay, let's hope this doesn't destroy me in the future. Okay, and yeah, that works. And I'm gonna click on preview SQL. Yeah, I just want to look at this because I want to ask ChatGPT to generate some sample products that I can actually use for um for the database. Actually, come to think of it, I think I'm gonna go ahead and add another field here, which is going to be image URL. So it's going to be the link to an image that I can use so that I can display it on the product for the product. And it's gonna be a voucher and 255. I think that will be it. I will use, what do you call it? Is it Pexels or is it Pexels? What is it? That website where you can get free images. Of course, there's Pexels, but there's this other one that I usually prefer, where you can actually just link to something and it can generate a random image. I'm not gonna be using the exact actual product names, product images, and all that. It's just gonna be simple. You just want to get that functionality going. Image URL, that's that. So I'm gonna preview the SQL statement. I'm just gonna copy this because I just want to give ChatGPT context of what the table I was creating so that I can know which products to add, the information to add. And okay, I'm gonna say save. Boom, there we go. We've got our ID, which is a primary key, the name, the description, the price. Ooh, I should probably set that to 10 as well, right? Let me change that, and I'm gonna say, so that I can like have at maximum 10 digits and 10 digits behind. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? Then image URL, that's okay. So let me go to ChatGPT and get this done. I'm gonna paste in that SQL command. I'm gonna say, can you please generate about 10 new records for this table, products table. Use, what is it called? That image sharing. Hold on. Pexels alternatives. I'm just gonna say that because I don't know. Unsplash. There we go. Unsplash random image URL. Yeah. So there's this link that you can go to for Unsplash where you can sort of get a random image generated each time, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm just gonna check out on the website. Um, okay. So that's sort of how we go about this. Let me see. No. Documentation. Let me check this out. Setting up an application, follow instruction to register and up. No. Search photos by keyword. Get a random photo. That's the one. Okay. So retrieve a single random photo given the optional filters. So it's going to be a get request all. That doesn't matter. Collections. Okay, what link do I use? Oh, it's gonna be like a whole get a photo statistics. Let me see. Unsplash random image URL. I mean, why can't I find it? How can I get multiple? I just need the one. Let me see. Hmm. It has already begun. I mean, I'm wasting time on a very, very, very small part. I'm sure you've already figured it out. You're like, no, Tavani, do that there, over there. You're missing it, dude. Okay. Pagination. User profile photos. Okay, that's something. So you're telling me that I need to just say no. Is it going to be say API dot? Okay, I don't know how. Get a photo, track a photo, download, upload like a photo. You know what? Let's see if ChatGPT can help me. Use unsplash random images for the image URL. I could even look up just random photo URL. Okay, there's lorem pixum. Oh, it just gets you a random image. Really? Oh no, I prefer this. Just add your desired image size. Oh, that's. Oh, okay. Now I can do with this. I can do with this. So, okay, if I refresh. Okay, there we go. We don't need this unsplash thing. To get a square image, just add the size like that. Specific image, static image, what gets the same random image every time? No. Gray style, blurred. Okay. No, this will do. This will definitely do. I'm gonna ask use for the image URL. Okay, let's see if we can get something from this. Sure. Here a 10-year record for the products table. Insert into that. And why is it being slow? Is it an internet connection problem? Perhaps. Okay. Oh, so those are the records. Okay, so I'm thinking to pause and wait for this to finish because it's kind of taking quite a bit. But then again, it's a code with me. The point is to be in it through and through. But I mean, honestly, it's just this. I mean, there's nothing else. I'm just gonna pause and play when this is done. Oh, 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh well. Oh, okay. Well, it's almost done now. So that's the 9th. That's 10. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy that. Go back to my PHP admin. I'm selecting the products table. You see that I've selected the database and the products table. Well, I just need to select the product database even still, but it's okay. I'm gonna go into the SQL tab and I'm going to paste that right there. Okay, insert into. I don't need to do that. I just need to mention the products table. I mean, it would have worked the same regardless. And for all of them, it's just gonna use that. Okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna click on go. 10 rows inserted. Perfect. So what did it say? Out of range value of for column price. It seems to, you see, okay. Let's see this drop. Browse. Oh geez. I'm gonna need to delete this, all of them. Gonna check all. I'm gonna delete them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's try this again. In fact, let's change this into a index out of. Let me say, let's make this a double. Okay, let's see. And we paste that same query again. Still, okay, perfect. Wow, that's just amazing, you know. I'm probably doing this the wrong way. You know, I could be, let me just make this a a string. Honestly, it's just gonna be saved as a string. Whoopsie. It's just gonna be saved as a string, right? I'm not gonna worry about making it an actual, yeah. Okay, cool. Now I'm just gonna put that in there again. There we go. If I click on the browse, oh no, what are these? Oh, I didn't delete. Oh, I didn't delete the last time. Oh, jeez. Okay, one more time. Go. Okay, perfect. Right. Okay, cool. Now we can work. We have the IDs are 31, 32, 33 now, like this. I mean, it's okay. It's cool. Not bothered by it, honestly. Not really bothered. The IDs don't really matter that much. So Now that we have our products, we can get into the code. And I'm just gonna go into this PC, into here, and XAMPP htdocs. This is how we can actually get the product, well, the website going, and so that it works with XAMPP, so that XAMPP, the server that's currently running, can find it. So what I usually do is just take all of this, cut, and just put it in a folder called default, paste that in there, so that like whenever I go to the default page, is it localhost 8080, I think, it doesn't automatically take me to this website. Just fine, it sees all the projects that I have here. So this one is going to be I'm going to say PHP. I'm just going to say product catalog. Okay, I probably spelled that wrong. If I did, amen. All right, there we go. We have that. Let's open it in VS Code. Right click, show more options, and open with code. Perfect. And here I'm gonna, okay, yes, thank you. I'm gonna create an index.php file. Okay, and okay, cool. It's the extension. If you don't have the extension installed for PHP, as soon as you create this index.php file, it will suggest that you install it. So I recommend you install it. Also going to create a product.php page. So the index.php page is going to be the page where all the products are going to be displayed, and the product.php page is where all the details for just that one product is going to be displayed. Okay, and let me say styles, and I'm going to say index.css. Just honestly, I could use Tailwind CSS for this, but it's okay. It's okay. Cool. It's cool. Honestly, I wish I could. I feel like doing that, but it's okay. Then I'm gonna create a product.css file. So this one, I'm gonna use the exclamation to create the boilerplate code, and I'm gonna say products catalog. And yeah, look at PHP. The formatter for this is just okay, for fine, whatever. So before this page loads, okay, now this formatter is not my, it's not it. Where's the formatter? Whatever. So before this page loads, I want to have access to the products so that I can start displaying them here. Okay, so what I do, since this is a PHP file, I can do this, right? So in here, I'm just gonna connect. Oh, by the way, you see all of this? This is from GitHub Copilot. Probably, so, it's just gonna help us, figure some things out. But if if you feel, I'm gonna use it for this whole video, and if you feel like it's you wanna not use them, want me to not use GitHub Copilot for assistance in the future videos, let me know in the comments. Okay, cool. So what we need to do first is to connect to this SQL, the SQL database right here. Okay, this MyDB. And to do that, we say, firstly, I'm just going to create a few variables. I'm going to say host name. I'm going to say localhost. Okay, that was GitHub Copilot just, helping us out there. And I'm going to say the host name, the user, username is root. Okay, the password is blank, and I'm gonna say the database is equals to my DB. Okay, so now let's connect to this server, the database online. This one, let's connect to it so that we can start cooking. So we're gonna say con is equals to, and so there's two ways of doing this. There's about three ways of doing this. We can use the object-oriented way using MySQL which is the extended version, I think. And we can use the procedural MySQL or we can use PDO. I prefer using the object-oriented version one, which is the one that GitHub Copilot is suggesting for us. So we say new MySQL Basically, we're creating a new MySQL connection. And the first parameter it takes is the host name, which we saved in that variable there. Host name. The second one is going to be the username that we're connecting to. So by default, the user that we are on here right now, where we see all these databases, is the root. So that's what we are going to be connecting to. So I'm going to say username, and we need the password, which is going to be that password. By default, the root user has a blank password. Okay, so makes it easier, I mean, honestly. And the last parameter is the database. This is optional, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, in fact, everything is optional. It can be left blank, but yeah, of course. Cool. Right. So quickly we can check. Yeah, exactly. We can check if the connection was successful. So if connection, there's connect error. So connect error, this is it's gonna be a string. So I want to use a different one. The error number. Okay. So if connect error number, so this returns an integer, and to learn more about this one, of course, okay, let's just connect error. You can use that. Oopsie, what am I doing? Okay, so this is a string that will be, it's gonna be a description of the error. Okay, if there is an error, if there was an error connecting to the database, this variable right here, connect error, is going to be holding the description of what the error was. Okay, so I'll show you how this works in a second. And if there is no error, if the connection was successful, then this connect error variable will be null. So that means this expression will evaluate to false. If there is an error, this will be a string, and when you just put in a string in an if statement, it's just going to evaluate to true. I mean, that's sort of how it works. So that means if there is an error, we just die, and connection, I'm just going to say connection error, boom, and we concatenate with the dot. Of course, I'm sure you all know that. So we say there's a connection error, and then we print out what that error was. Okay, otherwise we can just continue on this side. So we don't need to put an else here, because I mean, essentially, if this part of the code is executed, then the whole PHP script will not be executed. So if this was false, then we move on to the next part. So I'll show you, for example, now, if I put in the wrong database name right now and I try to load this page, let's just try to do that right now. I'm just gonna keep those tabs open. I'm gonna say localhost. Is it 8080? Oh, I pray I'm correct with this one. Okay, perfect. So I just need to go to port 80. Yeah, on localhost port 80, not 8080. Then there is our product catalog project, and if you go in there, there we go. Fatal error, unhandled exception, unknown database MyDB. So I mean, if they're saying unhandled, uncaught exception, then it means it would have been wise to sort of do this. Okay, to put a try catch statement here. Then we right here we add our code. And if we catch the error, we die, and then we get the message. Right, essentially. I mean, this will be a better way of actually handling this. Uh, let's try to reload the page. Let's try to reload the page. Perfect. You see now that's an actually better way to sort of handle that kind of situation, because the database is unknown, so it's gonna give us an error. So if the connection failed due to something else which does not cause an exception, right? Then we will use that. We'll just print out that. Okay, so we can move on now just below this and say statement. We need to create an SQL statement which is going to select everything. There we go. Select everything. So I'll say my connections. I'm gonna call this arrow dot, okay, just for ease. Prepare, select all from products. So what this does is the query as a string, it must be, okay, hold on. This prepares an SQL query and then returns a statement handle to be used for further operations on the statement. The query must consist of an SQL statement. So there's something called SQL injection that often happens when people are trying to hack you in some way. Okay. And when we do this thing called preparing a statement, so essentially what happens is the query as it is sent through to the database, and the database sort of passes through, parse as in parse like that, and executes the statement, but not the full statement, right? Just so it's correct. And before we actually bind any sensitive information, so there cannot be any SQL injection. I'm probably butchering this explanation, so how about I just continue and say this is something you should do whenever you're communicating with the database, okay, with in PHP with your MySQL. So of course this is not what we want to do. So we've prepared the statement, right? And we need to check if the statement dot execute, okay. Okay, so this executes a prepared statement. That's what it does, right? It runs it and actually gives us a result. Executes previously prepared statement. The statement must be successfully prepared prior to the execution using either MySQL prepare or MySQL statement whatnot functions, or bypassing the second argument to that. Okay, so essentially that means you see this part here. this could go wrong. And if it goes wrong, this is what it returns. It returns a statement object, right? Which is what our statement will be there, and or false if there was an error. So, I mean, it helps to just, in fact, check this whether it's successful, right? It makes sense, okay, to check this out. Then when this is successful, when this SQL statement prepared successful, then we can look at executing it, okay? Usually in other cases we'd do something like statement bind param. But in this case, we don't have any parameters. If you want to see something like that in the future, don't hesitate to let me know. In fact, actually, you might even see it when we're actually accessing the product, these actual product from here. We're actually going to do that where you see binding parameters here. Okay, so let us handle if this was not successful, right? If this statement returned false, then we die with an error. We just die like at that point, and we get the error, what the error was when we when it didn't approve. Okay, so here as well, otherwise I can just say that we also die. I mean, just like that. I'm just gonna keep it that simple. So in here, if we executed the statement properly, then we can say the result is equals to the statement stmt dot get result. So what does get result? I mean, it's self-explanatory. Gets a result set from a prepared statement as a MySQL result object, okay? So it retrieves a result set from a prepared statement as a MySQL statement. What? MySQL result object. That's basically what's happening here, right? Perfect. I'm gonna do that. Now we have the result here. What do we want to do with this? Okay. So we need to say again, I mean it's worth doing this, okay? If we want to check if result dot num of oopsie num rows, that's a variable, well, that's a property, is greater than 0, okay? So what this says is, okay, I'm gonna create a variable here. I'm gonna say products, okay? No, I'm gonna create a global variable right here, right? And I wanna say if, so I'm saying if number of rows returned is greater than 0, that means that we've got something back from the database, right? And otherwise, I will close the statement. I'm just going to say um, my product is equals to no products available. I'm just going to say that, okay? See how I can translate that right there so that like it just says there's no products available. I mean, we don't need to do this. We know that the products are going to be there, but then, if it's a situation where, it's a real life situation, want to check that, okay? So in this case here, there we go. This is what we do here. This is all we need to do here actually before it happens. So result.fetch as source. So this fetches one row of data from the result set and returns it as an associative array. Okay, so there we go. I think this is my first, well, not really my first, but then in this code, yeah, this is the mistake I made here. I'm thinking in essentially, because I want to use the products right down there. So actually this result should just be my products, okay, essentially. So I'm gonna say when this statement executes properly, then I'm just gonna store the products in this variable. Then I'll use it down here, okay. Now let's use it. I'm going to create another PHP tag here. Oopsie. Now I've created my PHP tag here. I want to say, of course, oh, there we go. So this seems like a lot. Let me remove it all so that you don't get confused. So again, that's checking. I shouldn't do it here. Rather, I should be doing it here because I want to say if the number of rows is greater than 0, if it is not greater than 0, I should just print out no products found. Okay, essentially. And okay, cool. Let me do something really quickly. I want to have a div right here. So this div element is going to be my class. I'm going to say class equals to container. So this container will sort of have the grid style and how many grid columns and all that. You know what? I think this calls for this is a good opportunity. I'm not gonna use styles right like this, okay? It's gonna be too hectic. Let's use Tailwind CSS, okay? Trust me, just gives us an easier way to. It just makes it much more easier to style everything that I'm using right there, right? To style my documents, okay? So yeah, to style my code, my page. So I just need to add this script tag in my head section. Nothing else. The rest is just to customize it, but I don't want to do that really. So just gonna put that script tag right there. So this is going to be a container. Okay, I'm okay with that. It's a container. It's the styling that says flex. Okay, min h screen. It just says min height screen, and justify. Yeah, we're just gonna keep it like that. And in here, I'm just gonna add. Oopsie. Just gonna add that PHP tag. Okay. So I think I wanna wrap this stuff around a let me say class container, right? Yeah, let me just do this on this rather. Okay. Then I'm going to have this become a grid. And I'm gonna say grid grid columns 1 if it's on a small screen, and medium I'm gonna say grid calls 3. Yeah, 3 columns, and then on a large screen it's going to be grid calls 4. Okay. 1 2. Okay, I'm gonna say, let me just play around with this. Let me see if I say grid calls 2, 3, and 4. So yeah, essentially. Then I'm gonna have a gap of 2. So that's just a sizing that Tailwind uses for the stuff right there. And now I want to say, okay, for the products, if they are products that I did receive some products, I'm gonna loop through those products and I'm gonna say select each row. Your row is going to be equals to fetch a source, a sock, whatnot. So an associative array is just an array that has, key value pairs. So in our case here, because our products, it's coming from our products table, our associative array will be like sort of like this: ID 1, name product, oopsie, product 1, like that. Okay. So essentially now the row to access this ID name and description would just be saying something like just be saying row, then we select the ID. So for that specific row on that loop, we are selecting the ID and so on and so on. Hope that makes sense. So I'm just gonna say I'm gonna create a div. Okay, I'm gonna echo. Okay, I mean honestly, the styling it's not gonna be, yeah. I mean it's not gonna be like the most special thing in the world. The point is to just get the details out. So the first thing I'm printing out, I'm going to echo a div, right? Opening tag that has the class of BG gray 100, P4 for padding 4, rounded large, and shadow medium. Okay. Then inside the div, so that you can sort of like see how it's going to be laid out, I'm just going to do this. Inside the div, we're going to have the name of I want to save the description for the main page. Okay. Just gonna remove that. And I'm just gonna have a text extra large and font bold for the name of the product. And I'm gonna make this an H2. And I'm gonna have the price right there printed out. You see, I'm concatenating here with the dot. Don't miss that. Okay. I'm concatenating with the row price. So for that price of the product, it's going to be displayed there. Padding 4, okay. I also need the image, right? So I'm going to echo the image right there. I'm going to say okay. So there we go. So this is going to be tricky, right? I'm going to close this here, because the link of the image, honestly, I didn't need to. Oh, what's this link that Copilot suggested? Nah, I don't want to use a placeholder image. I'm just gonna take, in case, so that you guys know how to sort of like do this, right? You're gonna concatenate this with the source. Okay, just gonna break it down into bits so that it's much more clear. Okay, so you're gonna concatenate this with the source attribute, which is equals to a single quote. Okay. Yeah, I know it's kind of confusing that I'm using single quotes and double quotes there, but yeah, okay. Hope you can get this right. So I print out the image tag starting here, then I concatenate. Okay, I don't need to concatenate actually here. The image, right? Then the source attribute right there with its single opening quote. Then I start to concatenating with the row image underscore URL, right? Then I concatenate that with the closing tag, right? With the closing tag followed by the attribute product image and the width full and all of that, rounded large, and yeah, okay. I hope this is not too confusing. So here's where I'm concatenating. It starts with the image with the source attribute and the opening quote, and then the close quote, and then the rest of the image tag. And I think I want to just also echo a horizontal rule, just like a line, horizontal line is there. Let's hope this looks pretty. Okay, so far already, this should, if I'm not mistaken, this should actually give us what we're looking for. I mean, let me have, yeah, okay, let me have that. Okay, perfect. I just wanted to have the Copilot just help me with the description quickly. I mean, on this tag quickly. You know, some things I'm a lazy developer, very lazy. But then I mean, the job gets done anyways. Right. So that's our code. And let's test this out. I've written a lot of code without testing. I mean, it's not too bad. Let's go ahead and try to look at this on the website. Let's refresh. Nothing is happening, and you see, we didn't update here the name of the database. Yeah, I should have checked that. So it's now my DB again. Let's refresh. Perfect. So if you're wondering what this image is, where this image is coming from, it's from that link of ours. It's just generating these images. Well, it's not random for each pick image, I guess. Well, that's okay. I'm not gonna worry too much about that. So we have our image cards right here, and I just want to increase the gap between the items 4 to something like 4. Then I'm just gonna add a yeah, an H1 products catalog. I'm just gonna add an horizontal rule. Yeah, just so. Okay, each time I refresh, the images are different, okay? So that's the only thing that's happening there. Um, and there is so much padding that I need to add around there. So this grid, I'm also gonna make it a container so that there's padding on the sides. I'm gonna refresh. There isn't any padding. Okay, so I know what I'm gonna do here. I'm just gonna add a flex to this. I'm just gonna say flex column gap of 2 and 4, and then I'm going to say what am I gonna say? Justify center. Okay, let's see. Okay, perfectly. Everything is horizontally justified. I mean, this will have to do, honestly. Maybe I should just keep it to 3 columns at most so that it doesn't fill up all the sides of the page. Let me refresh again. Okay, I mean, honestly, that I'll have to do. Maybe I can add a maximum width for the max. I'm gonna say max W. I'm gonna say um what do you call it? 80, no, 52, is it? Okay, okay. Maybe for the cards, because I think they are stretching too far. I'm gonna add a max W off. Let me go on Tailwind to quickly find the maximum width thing. Components, no. Documents, colors, screens, spacing, Z index flex, maximum width. Okay, then I think I'll do, yeah, max width 80. Seems decent. Oh geez. Right, let's check that. Let's check that. Okay, perfect. So they're not gonna stretch all the way. And how do I center the grid? I mean, to put everything towards the center. I think let me go back to grid. Okay, the place items. Let me see what that does. If I say place items center, so that everything is not like right the way it is. Okay, perfect. So that actually works. Then I can actually say I can have 4 columns instead. Okay, what's happening here is probably the size, the maximum width is not enough. Okay, let me see what happens if I remove the maximum width and just stick to placing items at the center. You know what? This is not the best catalog app, but you know what? So long as I can, you know, see the products, it's yeah, it's gonna have to work. It's gonna have to work. Maybe I can add a minimum width of 80. Okay, maybe now they are all just about the same. Yeah, yeah. That would work. That I'm okay with this. And maybe okay, you see, this is why I spend too much time developing. Just tweaking the smallest of preferences and yeah. Okay. Gap 4. I still want to keep it at 4. And then I don't like this gap in between, but it's okay. You know what? Yeah, it'll have to do. So one thing I missed is I want to add a button so that I can basically click and go to the product page and get its details, right? So let me quickly add that. And probably at the bottom, I'm just gonna say echo. Okay, this spacing I don't need really. I mean, if you thought it was helping you to see the structure of the HTML, then it's okay. I'll keep it that way. Then I'm gonna have a button. Okay, it's gonna be quite a blue button. Actually, I can't make it a button. Yeah, I don't want to make it. Yeah, this feature of adding to the cart is gonna be tricky, but it's okay. I'm gonna add an A tag and the I. Oh no! I mean, guys. GitHub Copilot is like the best right now. So basically, we want to add an A tag with an href, the link going to the product.php file. Okay, right there. And it's gonna give us an ID. It's gonna take the ID from row ID. Okay, it's gonna be part of. It's gonna be one of those. What do you call these things? The URL somethings. I don't know what they call these things. But then, yeah, it will be styled and it will have a nice view product. Okay, view product. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Just gonna leave it like that. Let's refresh the page so that we can see how it looks. Okay, so we need space in between these things. So the cards, I'm gonna make them flex call gap 4. Let me see. Okay, there we go. That's much better. I'll say a gap of 2. Or maybe I don't put the image in now. I put it on the next page. I'm gonna comment that out and see how that looks. You know what? Just for simplicity, so that we can be able to see that, I think, yeah, this will work, honestly. Cool. Let me say 5 right here as well. Nope. No. 4. 4 is great. There we go. So we just see the information. You can choose honestly how you want to do it when you want to add the details for that you wanna. What am I saying? If you want to, you can just add whatever information you want to put out first, then we'll express the other stuff in the next page. How long have I been recording? Probably long. Let's get into this page where we get the product details. Product. In fact, here the product details, the title actually wanted to be the name of the product, and there's a way we can do that. Essentially, we're gonna copy the same thing here, but not entirely. Okay, so we're gonna have to connect to the database again. This is too much. Okay, there is a better way of doing that, so that we only use the same sort of connection, right? We only use the same connection, and we just sort of just prepare our statements, and so that we don't have to keep on doing the same thing over and over, right? But it's okay for now. I'll refactor this later on. I should have closed this SQL statement. I should also close the connection at the end. Just here, I should close them because I'm done using them. But it's okay. Let's just do what works for now. For now, then we will refactor this. Boom, 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 and we have, oh, there we go. So we will get the connection, right? But now all of this is pretty much the same, but what changes is this SQL statement right here. And of course, the way we actually doing this stuff right here, because of course we need to get the product ID from the link, right? Because when you click on the product, you can see that the ID that it's given is 32. So we need to extract that ID. And we do that by saying right here, we say product underscore ID is equals to underscore get ID. So this get is it a global variable? Is it a global array, associative array, which will all find all of these types of variables right here. So it's going to be ID with the value 32 like that. So essentially, I'm probably butchering this, but yeah, okay. W3 schools got you there. So look it up what this means. I just know how to use it. There we go. Then we have the product ID right here. So our SQL statement will be get all from products, right? Where ID is equals to question mark. Now this is a parameter. We're not going to, here we're just preparing the statement. So we are not going to put in the product ID itself. We are going to do it inside, because when we know that actually the SQL statement right here has been actually verified essentially, and it's actually prepared well. So we do this thing called binding a parameter. So here this binds variables to a prepared statement as parameters. Okay, this is a parameter. We need to bind this variable here to that parameter so that it knows the actual ID to be extracting, right? And we bind, and the first parameter here for this method is the types. So if we had two of them, we'd say let's say if we're two parameters here and they were both strings, would say SS. If they were integers, would say I, and so on, depending on how many they are. Since the product ID is an integer, we're going to say I like that. And we bound the parameters, and then we get the product underscore details here. Using the same code, yeah? We get the product details, okay? Probably I should do that right there. The product details. And now we can again essentially just take this code that we have right here. Maybe not. Maybe we want to. I want to style the body the same way, and give it the same classes, and essentially the same script for Tailwind CSS so that our styling works. And also, I'm just going to say as well, I want it to be the product name, right? So I get the product details, right? I get the result. In fact, we can actually do this. In this case, we say the result is equals to the product, to the essentially to the result, whatever the result is here, right? Then we say the product details is equals to fetcher. So because we know that here we only retrieving the details for one product, so it's going to be returning one row for us. So we don't need to be doing that while loop thing that we're doing here, because here we needed to wait a bit and take it down here so that we can loop through everything, right? But in this case, we know that we're only getting one row from the SQL statement, and so we can immediately just get ahead, go on and just say the result.fetch a source, a sock, which is going to give us an associative array containing all the details of our singular product. And then essentially we can do this here and our PHP tag. And when we add the PHP tag, we say echo product details name. So let's just check that right now. Let's just check that it actually gives us the correct product details name, right? So we're gonna refresh. Then this is the leather messenger bag, right? We're gonna view product. Would you look at there, right there, leather messenger bag? So it's working. We actually got the details, actually the correct details. Classic stainless steel. There we go, classic stainless steel. Vintage leather jacket. There we go, vintage leather. I mean, we are on fire right here. Now we need to show all the details for that product. Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna do the whole checking thing right now because I know it's gonna be there. I mean, it helps to check whether the product details were blank. I mean, imagine if this was not there, but of course, I'm just trusting what I'm doing right now. I'm going to say echo okay, so I'm just gonna let GitHub Copilot sort of finish this for me because um I'm not trying to make this video too long. So I have an H1 with a class of text 3XL, which is 3 times less large, 3 times extra large. So it's a sizing thing that Tailwind uses. There's font bold, the text is centered, and the margin Y, margin at the top and margin at the bottom is going to be 4. And it's going to have the product details name. Oh, I don't know this syntax. Oh, it's a syntax in PHP when you put the curly braces, you sort of like, let's see if this works actually. It's gonna, I don't need to actually do the concatenation. It's sort of like is it interpolation? I don't even know what it's called. So the product details would just be displayed inside there. Let me see that. Ooh, would you look at that? That's beautiful actually. That's beautiful. So now I'm gonna echo an image. Remember that image we had earlier? I'm actually gonna take it, copy it from here because I just commented it out. And we're just gonna copy this, put it right there. And instead of row here, it's going to be product details. Oof, I made a mess of everything here, didn't I? Okay, should be like this. Echo that, those details, right? Let me see if I can do that interpolation thing so that I don't have to do the concatenating thing like that. I'm going to remove that. There we go. Oh, beautiful. That's actually pretty. That's actually pretty good way. So just know quickly that you should use double quotes outside, if I'm not mistaken, so that everything else works on the inside. So the next thing we'll echo is the the description. So it's also going to be text center. It's going to be interpolated into the brackets right there and the closing tag right there. I'm also going to echo the price, and it's going to be a price right there. And I'm going to put the run sign. I mean, why didn't I do that in the previous one, right? Oh, I use dollars. No, we use rands out here, my guy. In fact, actually, just you see this concatenation, I can just make it simpler, removing that and adding a curly brace there, removing that, adding a curly brace. It now looks more intuitive as to how it's actually going to be placed. You know, you can see actually where the details go in. I'm gonna do that as well. Okay, so I mean, I think this is it. We've done it, ladies and gentlemen. We've finished it. And you know what? To be quite honest with you, I don't quite like the fact that I was using a lot of what Copilot was suggesting in the styling. Of course, I mean it wasn't, the purpose of the video wasn't to, you know, rush wasn't is to sort of like main focus on how the implementation of the whole stuff is, so that like the styling, you don't have to worry about the styling, you because you're probably gonna style it your own way. Probably gonna use this a separate style sheet for that. So I just wanted to get this generated, but then you get the idea, right? But do let me know in the comments if you feel like I should be more manual. Disable. I can disable Copilot so that I take you through everything. Like even the styling, even my interesting styling skills. Then yeah, definitely I'm up for that. Okay, so there we go. Let's just test this quickly before I close. I mean, let's refresh. Okay. Say, oh, what's this soft cotton t-shirt? Let's check it. Let's check it out. Boom. Okay, so the image took quite a bit to load up because it's taking it from the internet. And it's very, very large. We can fix that because we just need to add a class, not with full actually this time, maybe with 80, right? So let's refresh. It needs to be centered. Let me say items center. There we go. I mean, there we go. Comfortable and stylish cotton t-shirt for everyday wear. Maybe we want to have a back button. Just gonna let Copilot do this one. I mean, it's not part of the thing. Back. Ooh, back button loading. If you just add a comment like this, it's just gonna really, do it for you, just like that. And there we go. I'm just gonna add that arrow, and let's see. I'm gonna right click and say format document. Let's see. Let me refresh. There we go. We can go back. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, guys. Look at that. Oof, stainless steel water bottle. Look at that stainless steel water bottle. I mean, you gotta love this. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna end this video here. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have something to say, to share, to suggest, please by all means mention that in the comments. And if you liked this video, hit that thumbs up button. And if you really like the content that I put out on this channel, that I'm putting out on this channel, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon so that you always know when I post new content. So thank you very much. Cheers.